Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm talking about Gervonta Tank Davis versus Frank the Ghost Martin. Tank versus Frank, let's get it. And first things first, detail of the tape. Starting with Tank, we can see that he's 29 years old with a record of 29-0 with 27 of those wins coming by ways of knockout. He's around 5'6" and he has a reach of 67 inches. And of course, he is a southpaw. Frank Martin is also 29 years old, has a record of 18-0 with 12 knockouts. He's around 5'8" and has a reach of 68 inches. And he too is a southpaw. So from the metrics, Frank Martin has the edge in height and reach, but nothing significant at all. And they're both southpaws, which will probably play a factor in the outcome of this fight. Now, if we were to highlight their strengths and weaknesses, I'd say that Tank is pretty much one of the most complete fighters we got in the game right now. He's elite at essentially everything. Top power, great fundamentals, really high IQ, elite footwork, great defense. He also got the intangibles such as, experience and, for a lack of better term, doggedness. Tank just has it all, man. He has everything. The only knock I can say about him is his low work rate, I guess. But he offsets that with accuracy, timing, and precision. He is a very efficient fighter. Now moving on to Frank Martin. He is a very fundamentally sound fighter. He has a good jab, which he doubles sometimes. His straight left is good. It's compact. It has that thump. He's a good counter puncher. He's got a nice catch and shoot game, a nice pull counter game. He has very good legs. He's very athletic. He's explosive. He's quick, and he is strong. I mean, just look at the man. But getting back to the legs, he has a quick first step. It's like he's very springy. He can get to you in an instant. And that ability, on top of having good footwork and good balance, I mean, Frank is a very solid fighter. He also works the body pretty well. He likes to stab it or rip it with hooks here and there. But what he also is a dog, just like Tank. We saw that in the Haratunian fight. It was a close fight. It was nip and tuck. And some might have even had him down heading towards the championship rounds. But Frank Martin summoned that dog in him, and he simply refused to accept defeat. It was the closest Frank has ever been to defeat in his professional career, and he just refused to let it happen. He bit down on his gum shield and went after Haratunian, man. You saw the urgency. You saw the intent in his eyes. He wanted to knock Haratunian out. And he risked getting hurt. He risked getting knocked out himself to get the knockout. And in the final round, he finally got a knockdown. He took some shots looking for it, going after it. He got countered some, but he was ready and he was willing to go through the fire to complete his mission. As for his weaknesses, the number one thing I gotta say is lack of experience, which unfortunately for him, it just can't be helped. I believe he had like sub 30 amateur fights, something like that. And this fight with Tank is gonna be his 19th professional fight. I believe he started boxing late at the age of 17. I mean, he's been boxing for 12 years. I mean, salute to him, right? To get to the level that he's at with such little experience. But I still don't think the experience level is where it needs to be. And with a lack of experience comes a lower boxing IQ. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm in no way, shape, or form calling Frank a dumb fighter. Nothing like that. But I wish he'd just make more adjustments in the ring. Like I said, for example, in the Haratunian fight, he kept getting tagged to the body by the same punch. It was either a hook or an uppercut, and he just couldn't avoid it. I know he also made some adjustments in that fight, but getting tagged by the same shots over and over again is critical. You need to be able to recognize and realize the issue and find a solution mid-fight. Again, I'm not saying he has low IQ or nothing like that. It's just his IQ isn't up to par, in my opinion. Aside from that, maybe defense. I mean, his defense is solid, but I don't know. Something about it just isn't perfect, and I can't really put my finger on it. Maybe it's the fact that it's inconsistent. For the most part, it's tight. His guard is up, he's alert, he anticipates the punches well, and he reacts. But sometimes I feel as though shots just go through when they shouldn't go through. Do you know what I mean? And I also noticed that he sometimes fights in a you go, I go manner. Maybe it's the lack of experience, but sometimes I see him shell up too much without returning fire when there's plenty of moments to return fire and counter. I guess what I'm trying to say is that sometimes he struggles to switch from defense to offense, which I know contradicts what I said earlier when I said he's a good counterpuncher. He is a good counterpuncher, right? But I guess that's what separates someone from being a good counterpuncher to an elite counterpuncher. And because of all of this, I just can't not go with Tank, guys. I just can't. Y'all know I'm very high on Frank. I think he got a good shot at beating most of the lightweights. But to me, Tank is just on another level. I think the gap in IQ, first of all, will be way too large. I think it's going to be almost like how Tank and Ryan went, where one could argue that Ryan was more talented and athletic than Tank. But Tank's IQ, he just neutralized all of Ryan. He outclassed him just with his IQ alone. I think it'll look similar to that fight in the way that Frank will look befuddled, in my opinion. Tank will just box circles around him once he warms up to what Frank brings. Maybe Frank will have success in the first 4 rounds, but after that, expect him to be completely outboxed, respectfully. I think Tank will always be 2 or 3 steps ahead, and I think he'll catch Frank to the body in rounds 8 or 9. Like I said, I like Frank. He's a good little fighter, but Tank is just on another level. Tank is a top 5, top 7 pound-for-pound talent. And another thing, I was trying to see when Frank last fought a southpaw fighter, and it's been years. His last southpaw opponent was Kendrick Latchman, who had a record of 1-6-1 at the time in 2018. He is now retired or inactive with a record of 1-12-1. Tank's last southpaw opponent was Hector Garcia, which he fought last year, and he is world class, so make of that what you will. Now, the one saving grace that Frank actually has is Derek James. He's a very good coach, y'all. I love me some DJ, and I actually think that he's gone underrated now. But that Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney fight really put him back on the map. In that fight, I really saw Ryan follow a game plan, definitely, no doubt, devised by DJ, and it worked wonders. So I wonder if DJ can see something that I can't, that most people can't, and work around that. But aside from that, I really do think that Tank is just levels ahead of Frank in all aspects of boxing. And that is exactly why I think Frank is gonna get dominated. Again, my final prediction is Gervonta Tank Davis knocking out Frank the Ghost Martin in rounds 8 or 9. But that's it for me, guys. What do you think of the fight? Who do you think will win and how? And anyone backing Frank in this fight, I'm actually really interested in how you see the fight panning out. How do you think he gets it done? And please leave a like and subscribe. And I really want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you.